welcome to this special reality TV recap edition of the Influential Personal Brand Podcast. That was different. A reality TV star, megastar, Mike Johnson, from The Bachelorette. And I'll say this, I want to get AJ's insights on what he had to share, but he came to one of our events here not that long ago, and people were freaking out, snapping pictures with him, interrupting the conversation, strangers not even part of our group party walking up and being like, can we take your picture? All the ladies. But Mike is such a really great guy, and he's super likable. Obviously he's done really, really well on the show, and I don't know, it's interesting to hear about reality TV as a part of building your personal brand.
Yeah, it was fascinating. And I would say that I would love to say that, we were, super fans and I was a fangirl, but I don't watch reality TV. So I didn't have a lot of context for why exactly does America love him so much. But he is a super, super lovable guy. I think you guys will see a lot of why he was so popular on the show by listening to the interview by itself. But this is not new. But I feel like one of the biggest messages that he shared, which is something you're going to hear from so many people that we interview, is just be yourself. He said, be your authentic self. He goes, I think one of the reasons that I was really likable on the show is I was being myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I was just keeping it real. Like I was wearing my do-rag when it was time to wear my do-rag. And I'm a nice guy. So I was a nice guy on the show. And I think all of that is something that we hear all the time about how do you actually be yourself? And in his unique case, when there's 20 cameras around,
Totally.
how do you keep it real? Like, how do you actually be yourself? And I think to me, I really related to it in terms of how we are on social media, right? So many people use way too many filters. Like I see some of my girlfriends post pictures and I'm like, wait, is that them? I can't tell because there's so many filters. They're almost unrecognizable. And there's this whole concept of be you, but yet not quite the real you. Be you, but a little bit altered, a little bit this. Don't be afraid to be too vulnerable. You don't want to come across as weak, but you want to make sure you're fun and you're lively and you're engaging. And it's like, well, sometimes it's just not you. So how do you really be you? And I thought he gave some really great insights and feedback on how to do that in a very intense, really intense session in terms of doing it for live TV.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and even just the hearing the selection process of how they grab people for the show, right? So there's all of these different rounds, I guess, of editing or selection that they go through, and I think they're looking for characters, like they're looking for characters because they know that strong characters, strong personalities create great TV. And I think that translates specifically to personal brands, is like you have to be a strong character. You have to be like this amplified version of who you are, or it's not really amplified. It's more of like uninhibited or accessible or exposed. And I think
just authentic.
Well, authentic is a word you would be able to use for it. But Mike is acting as if no camera is there. And so he is being his personality as if no camera is there, allowing people to see. And as a personal brand who's presenting on camera, you have to get comfortable with the camera being there. Like you have to be comfortable being yourself, even though there is a camera. I remember one of my speaking mentors saying, you can't be great on stage until you're comfortable on stage, because you're going to be so consumed with being awkward and nervous and uncomfortable that you can't even focus on connecting to the audience. You can't even deliver a message or instruction or inspiration because you're not being yourself. You're consumed with this awkwardness. And so being able to be that person in your own skin and being okay with people seeing like the full heightened version of you, even when you're making out with somebody. I mean, that's very extreme, but I think that is part of the lesson, is just being comfortable with the camera.
Yeah, and I think like to that, that's such a great point, because I'm laughing inside because we have so many clients in the brand builders community who are camera shy. I mean, they are incredible business people. They're super successful entrepreneurs. They're authors. They're just amazing content creators. They've done incredible things, but yet the camera goes on and it's like, wah, wah, crickets. It's like, hello, are you there? Hello, is it still you? And it's just like this weird thing where as soon as the camera comes on, they're like too professional, or they try to be too perfectionist, and they try to write out a script for what they're going to say on camera, and then oh, I messed up a word, got to do it again. And it's like, y'all, you got to be able to turn the camera on, makeup off, in your case, quaff done, quaff on done.
Quaff on.
But it's like, you got to be able to turn on the camera and just go. No script, no planning, and in many cases, no being dressed up, no makeup, if that's kind of how you want. Now, if you're super glam and that's your brand, then do your thing, girl, or man, either way.
Yeah, or man.
But I just, to that point, it just kind of like was laughing inside, because you do have to be comfortable on camera, especially in today's age, to have a successful personal brand. But yet I know that some of you who are going to listen to this podcast, if we were to turn a camera on you right now and go, all right, say your piece, you'd be like, whoa, 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 give me a minute. Let me write something down. Let me make an outline. And it's like, no, speak your truth and do it regardless, right? Just turn the camera on and go. And I think that, to me, in my opinion anyways, being on reality TV surely is some sort of training for that. But even Mike told us, he goes, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous on this podcast interview.
Yeah, that was funny, because he's not used to being on podcasts, but here he is
making out
on TV. No problem. So it's a different medium. I think it's just,
it's really unique.
The first time you do a podcast, even if you're a professional speaker, like, you get a little nervous. The first time you do a
speech on stage, you get a little nervous.
Right. Or even if you've been a speaker, you stand in front of a camera and you do like a TV shoot, or, like a movie shoot or a commercial or something. It's different. It's a different set. Or showing up. I remember the first time I did a live news. You've done this, the morning shows. It's a different environment, and you have to just be able to trust that you, as you are, is good enough, and to just sit and allow people to experience who you are, and be okay if they like you, be okay if they don't like you. But the best experience for them and for you is to just allow them to have access into who you are, and to not have to pretend, and not have to fake, and not have to try and cheat. And I think Mike wasn't trying to steal attention from the camera. He was just being himself and allowing people to fall in love with him.
Which I really loved. He's like, I wasn't trying to win a game. And I think that is really insightful too for a lot of reality TV. It's like, yeah, maybe some people are getting on there to get married and fall in love, but I think we all know that's somewhat unlikely in many cases. But he wasn't trying to win a game. He was just like, man, I'm just on there to see where the journey takes me. Wasn't trying to get on there to win. I was trying to get on there to follow the journey. And I thought that too was really interesting, and just his feedback in general. But I also think what is really fascinating about this too is how one thing can completely catapult you into another thing. And he went from being a financial advisor, a very successful one, which people probably don't know about, to being on The Bachelor and then The Bachelor in Paradise, to now he's getting ready to do all different types of things that I don't think we're able to share, but really cool and amazing things because of that. So it's that leverage and that platform that it gives you, and you can get a platform in a lot of different ways. And clearly being on TV and reality TV is definitely going to help you increase that platform, which could help you do X, Y, and Z. So what are you doing to build your platform? It just happened to be that reality TV was his catapulsion.
Catapulsion. Is that certainly a word? Catapulsion. Catapulsion. That's definitely a word. I like it. Well, and reach. I mean, there's that reach. And I would say it's easy to kind of judge people, right? And go, oh, reality TV, or hey, you just want to be famous or whatever.
Yeah.
But look, reputation formula. This is textbook Brand Builders 101. Reputation is your results times your reach equals your reputation. So reach is a huge part of this. Like
Huge.
if you want to change the world, like
People got to know about
people got to know about you. You got to do something to increase your reach. You don't have to go on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Like,
But you can.
but you could. But you do need to be mindful of reach. You can't be, I think, in one part of your brain going, oh, you're a fame monger and that's bad. And then the other part of your brain going, ooh, I want to reach more people and be successful.
Yeah.
Until you reconcile that, like you're going to self-sabotage because you're not really believing and just going, it's not about fame. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just about reach and making a difference and getting in front of more people. So I thought it was a really sweet interview. He's
Check it out.
Sweet guy.
So nice. He's so sweet.
Very lovable. Not at all, fake or anything. He's just really
super
awesome.
Authentic, really down to earth. Check it out. You'll like it.
You don't get a chance to hear from The Bachelor and then Bachelor in Paradise on any other day. All right. Thanks for being here. Have a great one. We'll catch you next time.